Now, this is actually a seasonal recipe, so it only comes once a year. These are the Cranberry Bliss bars. So we have our xanthan gum and our baking soda. We're gonna put that right into our almond flour. Now, if you guys don't know about xanthan gum, because I know it is a specialty ingredient, it's actually a thickening agent, but when you use it like in baked goods like this, it just lends for like a texture that's closer to a regular flour. So we have some softened butter, and now this is our powdered sweetener. Perfect. And then this is our little bit of molasses. So it's just a teeny tiny. It's not like we're going crazy on this, but this is like what brown sugar is made of. I'll end up using my spatula, but right now we're just going to mix it in as best as we can with a little whisk. Moving on, we are going to add in some vanilla extract. Then we have our little egg. Now we are using a pasture-raised egg. This is what your mixture is gonna look like. So these are our wet ingredients. And now we are just going to combine our wet and dry. Get every little bit of it. Okay, so this is the texture. It is kind of like a softened cookie dough, as you can see. But trust me when I tell you that this here is going to be the perfect blondie recipe. Okay, so our blondie dough is all done. Now we're gonna throw in our chocolate chips. I'm gonna add in about a quarter cup to a half cup. This is obviously to your liking. If you want to add the whole bag or just a few, it's totally up to you. And then we also have our cranberries. Remember, these are obviously optional. This is how they make them at Starbucks. So we are getting it as close to the real deal as we can. These are just no sugar added. So it's just a much lower carb option. But again, these or raisins will work. And we're adding these babies in. And now we're gonna go ahead and fold them in. Now, while we're mixing this, just make sure that your oven is preheated to 325 degrees because you don't wanna finish up with your recipe, have to get it in and then still wait. So let me show you what I'm using here. Even though it is parchment, I am gonna add a little bit of avocado oil. I just really hate for anything to stick at all, which is why a lot of times I like to use silicone. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and spread out our dough. Now you don't want it too thin. I'm thinking I'm gonna leave it about an inch thick just because you want that bite. You want that bite, okay? All right, guys, so we're gonna go ahead and get this into the oven. Remember, it is preheated to 325 degrees. We're gonna put it in for about 17 to 20 minutes. So I cannot wait to show you how these turn out. All right, guys, so while our blondies are cooking, I wanna give Seed a special thank you for sponsoring this part of the video. Now, Seed is a probiotic and prebiotic. It's actually called a symbiotic. It's a one of its kind. It has 2-in-1 capsule. It actually makes it all the way down into your colon, feeds all the little gut bacteria. Now, if you have issues with bloating, inflammation, you're not regular when it comes to, your bowel movements, I know TMI, but all of that stems from your gut health. So 70% of our immune system lives in our gut. So if you have issues, even with your hair falling out, you have skin issues like psoriasis, eczema, all of that stems from your gut health. So if you don't have a probiotic and prebiotic that you're absolutely obsessed with, I'm gonna go ahead and leave the one that I use in the description below. This is a Seed DS1 Symbiotic, and this is what they look like. You take 2 a day and you are set. So remember, headaches, bloating, inflammation, any skin issues that you're having, it all stems from your gut, and this is a great place to start. So again, it's linked down below. Low Carb Love at checkout gets you a 15% discount. Cheers. Okay, ooh, look at that. Perfectly golden brown color. While our bars are cooling, we're gonna go ahead and get started on the cream cheese frosting. So I have the ingredients laid out, very basic, but I'm telling you, super delicious. So here we have our softened cream cheese. So you can see this is the texture. It just really, really smooth. It's like silky. Now we have our sweetener. We're gonna go ahead and toss that in. And some vanilla extract. Okay, and we're gonna mix that together. Now, a lot of frostings, they call for lemon juice, and I do have my lemon juice here. The reason why you add lemon into a frosting is to kind of cut back on the sweetness. So if you try your frosting and it's perfect and you're like, no, it's just perfectly sweetened, then you don't need to add it. I might add just like a few drops, but because I feel like it also kind of gives it that cheesecake taste. You know, like cheesecakes actually have lemon juice in it. So I feel like it will kind of add to the taste. But I won't add a lot because sweetener is not as sweet as regular sugar. Unless you're using a sweetener that does have stevia, then it might be overly sweet, and then you would totally be able to use some lemon juice to cut back on the sweetness and also just give it that flavor that you get from a cheesecake. So this is the consistency that we're at now. I'm gonna add a little bit of almond milk because the goal here is to be able to drizzle it over our bars, like a teeny bit. You can tell we'll still need. Okay, so I added a little bit of almond milk so that we can go ahead and spread a layer over the bars. What we're gonna drizzle is some more melted white chocolate chips. So that is what we're actually going to drizzle on the bars. Now let's go ahead and just add a little teeny tiny, because I definitely wanna give it that cheesecake flavor. And now let's go ahead and put our bars together. Our blondie is finally cooled. Now we're gonna go ahead and frost it. Now we are going to spread our cream cheese frosting. The next step after the frosting are our cranberries. All right, guys, so I went ahead and cut these in triangles just like the ones from Starbucks. We got it as close to the real deal as possible. And I love that I won't have to wait till the end of the year to enjoy these. So cheers, let's go ahead and let me see, I'm trying to look for the perfect bite. Going for the taste test. I'll do the corner. Oh my gosh. Okay. The blondie, perfectly. It's kind of like a cross between like a little chewiness. It's super moist. It just has the perfect consistency. It's almost, I guess the closest thing I could describe it to is like a brownie, but obviously it's not chocolate, but it has like that richness that you get from a brownie. And then that frosting, guys, that cream cheese frosting, I'm telling you, you can reuse that for cupcakes, for cakes, any type of frosting, especially if you make cinnamon rolls. Boom, you got this. And of course, like most of the things that we have here on the channel are diabetic friendly. So if you have family members that are diabetic, then you can obviously refer them to the channel because a lot of the things on here are diabetic friendly. This one here is a low carb recipe. It is so delicious. I cannot wait for you guys to make it. Just know this is the closest thing to the Cranberry Bliss bars from Starbucks, and you guys are gonna be absolutely obsessed with them. I cannot wait for you to make them. I'm gonna leave the recipe in the description below. If you guys like this video, make sure you show me some love and go hit that like button. Don't forget, share the recipe with friends and family that are living the low carb lifestyle or that you know just want healthier alternatives to their favorite foods. Thanks so much for being here, guys. I love you, and I'll see you on my next video. Mwah.